we are continuing with our equations. I have on the board some mixed examples. I think I'm going to give you guys like 2 minutes to attempt to do these questions. I'm also going to take a cough break at the same time that I'm giving you guys these 2 minutes. Yes?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Can I please also take it with you?
Yeah, sure. Sure, Itandile. We are going to be on a cough break, and those of us who are well are going to be attempting these questions so that when I come back, we are going to answer together. So I changed my mind. I'm going to give you guys like 1 minute. So we're starting now. I need to mute myself so I can cough in peace. Okay, I think 1 minute is up. Let us attempt to answer the questions. Marissa, I didn't know I was on mute. Thank you. Itandila, your hand is up. Are you answering? No, no more hand up. Anybody want to help me answer? There's so many of us. I would expect somebody. Must I be a classroom teacher and pick on people? I'm kidding. I won't do that. Emilia, I saw your hand up super quick. I do see answers in the chat. William and Umar. Let me go and test. Okay, first one, super, super easy. What can you guys tell me what's this thing called when we move stuff over to the other side? What's the word for that? Emilia and Itandile have their hands up. Let's see who was first. Oh, we have Mpho's hand who's up actually. Mpho, are you answering my question or do you have a question? Mpho, can you hear me? I see some correct answers in the chat. Happy to see that. While we wait for Mpho, Itandile, do you want to maybe give us the answer so long?
Ma'am, what is called transposing, ma'am?
It's 100% transposing. Thank you, Itandile.
It's our pleasure, ma'am.
Okay. So remember when we said we have these sort of loose terms, we can do what we call transposing. Now remember, when we solve equations, we are actually using inverse operations. So the long way would be to go, well, x plus 2, to get rid of plus 2, I can minus 2, but because I minus 2 on this side, I must minus 2 on the other side. This cancels out, and then we're left with the 10 minus 2. Whereas when we just transpose, we sort of skip that step and we just say, well, 10, and then we take the 2 over. But when we take it over, the sign changes. And so you see, we end up with the same thing. Transposing is just sort of a shortcut. And so 100% to those of you who told me that x equals to 8, 10 minus 2 is 8. Super easy. Very easy one to begin with. Let's look at the next one. This one looks like it's going to be a little bit more challenging. Uma has given us the next answer. Let us see how correct that is. So we have another loose term. Remember, terms are separated by plus and minus signs. And so this term over here is loose. Why do I say it's loose? This one isn't really the loose term because it has my variable in it. Remember, with equations, my goal is to get the variable by itself. So everything that is with the variable that I can move over to the other side, I'm going to do that. And right now, this plus 4 can be moved. And so 6x will be left on the side equals to 22. I've moved the 4 over, but when I transpose, we have a sign change. Then if we simplify this, 22 minus 4 is going to give me 18. Now what do? I have 6x equals to 18. What operation do I have to do here to solve this? Imihle? Oh, I don't know. I see two hands.
Hi,
Mpo.
ma'am.
Hi, Imihle.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm good in yourself.
I'm good, ma'am. So, ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
to get the answer, we have to say 6x divided by 6
100%.
and 18 divided by 6. So the two sixes are going to cancel out and we're going to be left with x.
Mm-hmm.
And then 18 divided by 6 will equal to 3. Therefore, um, x is equal to 3.
There we go. Thank you very much for that, Imihle.
Welcome, ma'am. Thank you.
That was very well done. Um, and then we have our third one over there. Expand the 6x transpose the 6. So Leila, we're not going to do that because remember, if you expand 6x, right? 6x, when we expand it, it's really just 6 times x. The only time we are going to use the word transpose is when we actually have addition and subtraction, because that's that moving it over to the other side. Over here, I'm not really moving the 6 over to the other side. What I am doing is I am just dividing both sides by 6 so that the multiplication by 6 and division by 6 cancel out. So I do see what you were saying, expand it and transpose in the sense of divide both sides, but we only really use that word transpose for when it's this addition or subtraction. Okay. And then we have the last one. Uma in the chat has given us the answer. Let's check. So I have 12 minus 2x. Now, there's two ways in which I could do this. I could go and I could say, I'm leaving 12 on this side. I see 4x on this side. And so what I want to do is I want to bring this negative 2x over to the side with the x. So that's going to become positive 2x. Because remember, the goal is get your variable by itself on one side. So here, because there are two terms with variables, we want to get those two terms on one side. And then what I see is now on my right-hand side, I have like terms. What are like terms? Remember, like terms have the same variable and the same exponents. And so here, both my variables have this exponent of 1. And so we do have same variables, same exponents. So I am going to add like terms. I just saw hands go up. Um, Mpo's hand is still up. Liaho, I think I saw your hand. Are you good? Is everything good?
Ma'am, it was by mistake.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm like about to be better. I'm literally just about to be better. I can't wait, honestly. What was I saying? It's Angela, yes.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am,
Afternoon.
can you please ask you to go to the bathroom and take a cough break?
You are more than welcome to, as always, it's Angela.
I'm very sick, ma'am. I'm very, very sorry.
I can hear. That's okay. You never have to ask. You guys are at home, you know?
It's the class though, ma'am.
I appreciate you asking. You're more than welcome to take a break, Angela. In the meantime, we're going to finish solving this. So we have like terms. I'm going to add up the like terms. We have 4 apples plus 2 apples gives us 6 apples. 12 is equals to. Now we have 6 times x. To remove the multiplication by 6, I'm going to divide by 6. What happens is multiplication and division by 6 cancels out. Didn't mean to erase that. And what we are left with is then x on the side. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Uma, I did see you ask if you can answer the next one in the chat. You 100% can. So that is that. So this is the one way. And then obviously, we don't really like this format. So we can just swap it to say x is equal to 2. The other way we could have done it is we could have said, okay, well, negative 2x can stay on this side. And then what we could have done is we could have said, I'm going to take 4x over on this side, and I'm going to take 12 and move it to the other side. So 4x is going to come onto my left-hand side, and it's going to become negative 4x. 12x is going to move to my right-hand side, and it's going to become negative 12. Negative 2 minus 4, negative 6x. And when I divide, I'm going to divide by negative 6. Division and multiplication cancel out. We're left with x on the side. Negative divided by a negative gives me a positive answer. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Okay. That was the other way you could have done it. Either way, whichever side you take it on, it doesn't matter. As long as you do the correct steps, follow the correct process, that is going to give you the same answer. So that is that. I hope that we're all good. Now would be the time to take a screenshot. I've done 3 questions all on the screen. Any questions up until here? I think these were still sort of easy ones compared to what we were doing in the previous weeks. You guys can 100% react for me to let me know how you're feeling about all of this. Okay, happy to see that. We have 2 more questions until brain break. So that's cool. Uma, this next one is on you. There we go. So I will wait for you in the chat. Yes, Mpo has raised their hand, but I'm not hearing anything from Mpo. Mpo, if you want to talk, you're more than welcome to. From the last question. Oh, there we go. Mpo's hand has been lowered. Okay, so we're distributing 100%. When we have equations with these brackets, the first thing we want to do is remove our brackets by distributing. When I distribute, I'm doing multiplication. 2 times x is going to give me 2x. Thank you, Uma. And 2 times 2 is going to give me 4. Okay. I've now distributed. What next? My 2 here looks ugly. Let's try that again. Transpose the x. Okay. So Uma has decided to transpose our x. We are not transposing 2x. We could have, if you did it that way, you would have gotten the same answer. Umar has chosen to leave x on the side, transpose it, so that it becomes negative x. What next, Umar? I still have this plus 4 over here, which Umar has told us we need to move over. And so what happens is on this side we have 2, it was positive 2. We move the 4 over, but when we move the 4 over, sign changes. Now, what I want you guys to see is if this confuses you, you are more than welcome to move one step at a time. So in other words, you could have went 2x minus x plus 4 equals 2. And in the next step, then you could have gone 2x minus x equals 2 minus 4. You can 100% do it in 2 steps if transposing 2 terms in 1 step makes you uncomfortable. So, Umar, we have transposed everything to where they need to go. What next? I heard a hand. Let's see. Paul, do you have a question?
No, ma'am, I don't have a question, madam. I wanted to answer the next question.
Okay. Keep your hand up. You'll definitely answer the next question with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. In the meantime, Umar is telling us what to do. 2x minus x. So we said we see like terms on the side of my equation. So I'm going to add those like terms, or in this case, subtract. 2x minus x is going to give me 1x, or just x, equals 2. And then lastly, we have 2 minus 4 gives us negative 2. And how did I get that? Well, if this is my number line and this is 0 on this side, no, that's going to be a 1. On this side, if I have 1, 2, 3, and this side, I'll have negative 1, negative 2, and negative 3. If we're starting at 2, so we started at positive 2, I need to subtract. When I subtract on a number line, I move to the left. And so we move to the left 1, 2, 3, 4 times. That is how we end up with negative 2. And Umar has given us the answer over there. Very well done, Umar. Okay, we have our next one, a little bit of a challenge. Paul, do you want to talk me through it?
Yes, ma'am. For number 5,
Mm-hmm.
the there's an invisible one before the open bracket.
I'm so happy to hear you say that. Yes, there is this invisible one. So what do we
Yes,
have
ma'am.
to do?
Then we have to multiply the invisible one to the numbers inside the bracket.
Super, super smart guy, I see. Okay, so we have 1. That's this one I'm carrying down. And then when I do this multiplication, what do I get, Paul?
It's gonna be minus 3x
Mm-hmm.
plus 4.
Plus, it's a negative times a positive,
Or minus 4.
minus. So it's going to give us minus 4. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And then on this side, are we also do you want to distribute in one step?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have more brackets. So Paul has said, let's distribute. Okay, go.
Gonna be 8x
Mm-hmm.
minus 12.
Minus 12. Where did we get minus 12 from? It was a negative times a positive that gave us that negative, and then 2 times 6 gave us 12. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Paul. What next?
And then we're gonna move all the x's to one side of the equals, and we're gonna move all the coefficients to one side of the equals and all the constants to the other side.
Okay. So that's supposed to be on one side, and then all my constants must go to the other side. So which side do you
Yes,
want my variables to go to? Left-hand side or right-hand side?
Left-hand side.
Left-hand side. Okay. So that means we're going to leave the negative 3x here.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
we're bringing my 8x this side. When I bring it over, what happens to it, Mpho?
It becomes a negative.
It becomes negative 8x. Cool. So now
Yes,
all my
ma'am.
pink ones are where I want them to be. On my
Yes, ma'am.
right-hand side, I have negative 12. I need to take my negative 4 over and my 1 over. When I take
Yes,
the
ma'am.
1 over, what happens?
It becomes negative.
Negative 1. And when I take the negative 4 over, what happens?
It becomes positive 4.
It becomes positive 4. Good job. What now?
Then we're gonna solve the coefficients and the constants.
Mm-hmm.
For the left side, it's gonna be negative 3x minus 8x,
Mm-hmm.
which is gonna give us 3. It's going to give us minus 11x, negative 11x.
Okay, just give me a second. I just want to show everybody how we got there. So what happened here now is we have negative 3 minus 8. We start at negative 3. We have to subtract. When we subtract, we move to the left. And how many times are we moving to the left? We're moving 8 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that is how we ended up with negative
Negative
11x. Thank you, Paul. What next?
Then we're gonna solve the constants. It's gonna be negative 12 minus 1
Mm-hmm.
plus 4, which is
Mm-hmm.
gonna give us minus 9.
That's correct. Minus 9.
And then under 11x, it's going to divide on. It's gonna divide off on its own coefficient, and 9 is also gonna divide on the coefficient.
Okay, so super important for it to be negative 11, not just 11, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. And then,
We're
yes,
gonna cancel the 11 out, and it's gonna be x equals to x equals to madam, when you get a fraction, do you on the calculator, do you SD it, or do you leave
you
it as
can, but generally we keep it as a fraction.
the answer will be 9 over 11?
9 over 11. Good job. That was very, very well done, Paul.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so that was really nice. Now, if you're confused on how this became 9 over 11, well, what really happened is we said it's negative 9 divided by negative 11. Because we were doing division, we did SNV, signs first. A negative divided by a negative gives me a positive. And there were no variables, so I didn't have to do that. And then just the numbers. 9 divided by 11, it was going to give us a decimal, which we don't really like. So we kept it as this fraction of 9 over 11. And I see you guys, or rather, I see Uma, you with your skull emoji. A bit of a strange answer, but the answer nonetheless. Okay, so that was this. Any questions on this one? I know it was a little bit more difficult, but I'm super, super proud of Mpho for remembering our negative 1, that invisible coefficient of 1 in front of our brackets, and then distributing. That was very, very good. Ma'am, do you know about the 9/11? Yes, I do. I see a hand. Itandile, is that you?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, can I please ask,
Mm-hmm.
how did we get up to the invisible 1, and how did the negative 1, invisible 1, after the bracket of x3? Ma'am, did we distribute it or did we leave it?
Are you talking about this -1 that I wrote you in pink with the arrows?
No, yes, ma'am. Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay, so we did distribute it. We said -1 times 3x gave us -3x, and
Yes, sir.
-1 times +4 gave us -4.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can I also ask why
Mhm.
didn't we use the other one before the negative?
This one over here.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it was its own term. So what we were doing first was we were just getting rid of our brackets. This one is its own term separate to the brackets. So it sort of just stood there, I guess, while we got rid of our brackets.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Pleasure. Um, okay,
Sorry.
that's okay. Okay, so that is that. I'm wanted for 5 bull. Oh my gosh, Uma. Such dark humor, you guys. Okay, so that's that. Onto our brain break. We're back to these things you guys again love to hate. Everything that's not one must go. You guys love to hate. Honestly, what is this one? we we are guessing. Brie, you have a question. I didn't see all the hands up. I almost said something I wasn't supposed to. Can we distribute without the invisible one? Yes, you could just distribute the negative, but it just helps us to remember that we're not just distributing a random sign. It's -1, but the one sort of doesn't matter because anything times 1 is going to be itself. It's the sign that really matters, that changes everything. Okay. I see hands up for the brain break. I'm assuming. Itandila, do you know what this means? Mm, blue spider. I don't think the color has anything to do with it, if I remember correctly. Spy red. Shady, I'm with you on this one. I did this brain break so long ago, I cannot remember. Roy-san, do you know maybe? Oh, I remember. I have it. I know it. I know what the answer is to this one. Um, Roy-san's hand has gone down. Liacho, maybe you?
Now, ma'am, I'm waiting for the next one.
Okay. Itandile, I asked you first, but you haven't responded yet. If you do know, you're more than welcome to let me know. Spy bed? No, not spy bed. Uh, I do have the answers, Shady. Red spider? No. Let me give you guys a hint super quickly. Look at this word B. So look at this. It's a word in a word. Anybody possibly got it now? So if you took be out of the word, not be spirited, close, kind of, Unique. Be inspired. Yay, Shady. It's the word be inspired. Be inspired. Yay to Shady for that one. Next. Okay, we have this guy over here. Liapo, I know you said your hand up was for what? Your hand was up for the next one. You want to guess?
Mice, ma'am, so easy. Like,
Okay, but the answer's not mice.
aibo. Yani,
What are the mice missing?
it's the eye, ma'am.
Right. So what do you know about mice who don't have eyes?
Yeah, ne?
Anything?
Ma'am, this is hard, ma'am. Hey, and nobody has their hands raised. Okay, ma'am, just give me a few seconds, ma'am.
Kenny is onto something. Three blinded. What? Three three blind mice. There you go. It's three mice or three mouses, I guess. Nah, three mice. Three mice with no eyes. And so because they have no eyes, they blind, and then it's three blind mice, you know? How would someone guess this? You just have to like put two and two together, you know. Rory Sang, do you have a comment on this, or do you want to guess the next one?
Next one.
Next one.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Next one, ma'am.
Hey,
Is there another next one, ma'am?
I think so. Yes, there is.
Okay, sure. Uh, give, give, get. Ma'am, is that a word, ma'am? G-T.
No, it's not. But Layla has it in the chat. Check the chat. Your friends are helping you.
Oh, forget. Oh, forget it.
Forgive, forget, meaning like the phrase forgive
Oh,
and
oh,
forgive and forget. Already sung. And this one
okay,
was
thanks, ma'am.
three blind mice. Okay. I don't know if this one is the last one. Possibly. Let's check. No? No, it's not. If you saw that, just act like you didn't. Anybody with this one? You guys actually
Ma'am,
got the
me.
forgive and forget one. Who's me?
Ma'am, Rorisa.
Yes, Rory Sang. Do you know this one?
No, ma'am. I do it. Uh, she taboo.
No.
Tab-
Check the chat. Bree has helped you.
Yo, again. Yeah.
Ma'am, this is hard, ma'am. But anyway, yeah, at least we must have a challenge.
See, you guys are on my case when it's too easy. Then you're on my case when it's hard.
Yeah,
I
two
don't
facts.
know. I don't
Okay,
know what you guys want. But
okay, ma'am,
Bree
less
has
complaining
got
then.
it.
Okay, ma'am, I'm gonna stop complaining then.
Okay, thanks, Biako.
Thank you, ma'am.
I appreciate it. We have
Welcome, ma'am.
BEAT. Rory Sang, what was that? We have beat around the bush. Very well done for getting that one. I didn't think anybody would get that one. Toothbrush? No. That is believe it. Yo, I still to this day don't know how to say your name. I'm gonna go with I think Believe sounds the most correct. I'm going with that until you correct me. Um Bush Kenny? Bush beta. No, sorry. You were close. I mean, okay. And I think this one might be the last one. Let me try go slowly. No, okay, not the last one just yet. The next one is the last one for sure. What is this? I forgot this. Oh, I know. I heard a hand. Paul, yes.
Ma'am, is it one stands over them all?
Close. You're on to something.
Ah,
You're on to
Numbers
something.
stand. I don't know, ma'am. Stands, whatever. Something like that.
No, yeah. Stand on numbers. Why? Oh, there's so much happening in the chat. Bree is a slave queen. Oh, sorry, I got distracted there for a minute. What was I doing? There was something on my desk. I had takeouts earlier, and I just found like chilies from earlier. So I was cleaning it, and I got distracted, and I forgot what I was doing. I see I give up in the chat from Shady. All for one. Stand on business. Not quite. Touch one. Touch all. No. Touch it right now. Push past your limits. No. Cheese. No. Liaho, your hand is up.
Ma'am, I don't know, ma'am, but I think one stands for all.
You're so close. Like, okay, one is missing, right? So think with me, Liaho. If one is missing, what do you think that word could be at the bottom there?
Ma'am, this is tough. I don't know.
No one.
Oh, no one. Oh,
It's
what?
no one. And no one. Okay, I'm leaving it at that. No one is the bottom word.
Oh, okay.
So let's see who gets it. Layla's close. No one stands alone. No, not quite. I think I'm gonna give you guys the answer. No one under.
No one understands.
There you go, Liaho.
Yeah, ne?
Good job. No one understands.
Hey, okay, thank you, ma'am.
No one understands. Okay, and then the last one. Oh, I remember this one. I know the answer. Rory-san, I think that was your hand.
Yellow reverse.
No, the color doesn't have anything to do with it.
Revo, man.
I can tell you guys it has nothing to do with revolve or revolution. Not revo either, Rory-san.
Ma'am, like if I turn around, ma'am, got the like will you give me the answer.
If you read it backwards, Rory-san, what does it give you?
Oh, ovary. Over. Hello.
Over. Okay. Now that's a word. That's part of the phrase. Which think about which way you read it, Rory-san.
Ma'am, back over.
Not backwards. What's the other direction instead of backwards?
And over.
Mm-mm. No.
Ma'am, side over.
No. No.
Yeah.
It's a direction overs. Because there's more than one over. Something overs, guys.
Right over.
Direction over.
Oh, left over. Left over.
No, not. There you go, Rory-san.
Left over.
It's leftovers.
Hey, ma'am, I was gonna say that one you, but anyway.
Shem, at least you know your audience,
Yeah, at least. Thank you,
I
ma'am.
had all of the answers, yeah. 3 mice with no eyes, lol. Yeah. Okay, so that was our brain break. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it challenged you. Default victory dance. Guys, honestly, I love Fortnite. Let me not lie to you guys.
Say, ma'am, I'm a pro, ma'am. Like, ish, ma'am.
Really? Yeah. Like,
ma'am,
okay. I'm not a pro. I'm quite a noob, but I play with my younger brother, and so he carries.
Oh, okay, ma'am. But anyway, ma'am, I can do triple edits. I think even quadruple, like in building.
I play no builds. Building is not for me.
Okay, ma'am. I always play builds, but like 0 builds sometimes if I'm tired of builds.
Okay, cool. Thank you for participating as always.
Thank you, ma'am.
Shady? I don't know why it was so hard. I thought it was in the middle. I feel like it was easier than the last time we did that. But anyways, back to maths. Back to maths. Also, Brie, leftover wasn't the direction. Left was the direction and over was the word. Anyways, moving on. I said back to maths. Here we are. We have a fraction. What is the operation in a fraction? Can you guys tell me? Hmm. What operation is being performed here to my lonely little x? Divide. Thank you, Uma and Kaylee. What is the opposite of divide? Multiply. William, I see you unmuted yourself. Do you want to say something? Nope. Okay, cool. What am I doing? Multiplying. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna say x over 4. I'm gonna multiply this whole thing by 4, and that's gonna give me 5. And because I multiplied on one side by 4, I need to multiply on the other side. And so if you literally look at it, by the way, x over 4 multiplied by 4 over 1, if we had to cross simplify, 4 and 4 would cancel out. And what are we left with here? Just x over 1, which is just x. So you can see, oh, I should have erased that. Well, x over 4 times 4 over 1. 4 and 4 cancel, and we're left here with x over 1, which is just x. That is how my times 4 and division by 4 cancel. What am I left with on this side? X is equals to 5 times 4 is 20. And I think I saw William give me that answer in the chat like a very long time ago. Yes, I did. Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys. Okay, that is how we get 20 over there. Let's try the next one. We have half x or half times x plus 7 equals 0. Well, let's do the first thing, which is the easiest, which is remove my loose term. I know that fraction looks a little bit scary for now, but let's do baby steps. Half x equals 2. 7 goes over. When it does go over, it changes sign. We now have negative 7. Now, there are two ways you could think of this. You could think of half x as being half times x, or you could think of half x really being x over 2. So depending on how you see it, that will depend on how you solve it. If you're thinking this is half times x, then the logical thing to do to get rid of this multiplication by a half is divide by a half. And if you go ahead and you say half divide by a half, what we do here is we tip and times, and you'll see 2 and 2 cancels out. We cross simplifying, and we're left with 1 over 1, which is just 1. So you see how this cancels out, and we then have to divide by a half again. And so that's left us with x is equals to, and if we do, sorry, I'm just trying to read this chat. The place of 0 determines the answer. Do you want to elaborate more on that, Uma? So then we have negative 7 over here. And we can make that over 1 divided by a half. Let's tip and times negative 7 over 1 multiplied by 2 over 1. We can't cross simplify, which means we just multiply across. Negative 14 over 1. And that just gives us negative 14. Why was it a negative? It was negative times a positive, which gave us a negative. The answer is negative 14. 0 minus 7 equals 7, or negative 7 minus 0. I'm not quite understanding what you're saying, Uma. Because sometimes there isn't a 0, you know what I mean? Sometimes this could have been 3. And then, it's not always the 0 that would determine that answer. Okay, so that's one way you could have done it. The other way you could have done it is, remember, half times x is really a half times x over 1. And when we multiply that, we get 1 times x, which is just x, and 2 times 1 is 2. So if you saw it like this, you could have said, okay, well, x is being divided by 2. And to cancel it out, you could have then multiplied both sides by 2, which you'll see will give you the same answer, because once we took 10 times, we were basically multiplying by 2. So I know this one was a little bit complicated. Can you guys react for me and let me know how you felt about this? Itandile, I saw your hand like right now. I don't know if you wanted to answer or if you have a question.
Ma'am, I want to answer, but then it's fine.
Sorry, I do apologize. But it's okay. Itandile, you take a break. You get better. I had my time to get better. You take your time. Shady, what's confusing? I see you thinking. Ginger burns, Uma. It does help, but it burns. Okay. While Shady is thinking of what he wants to ask, let's go to the next one. Again, we have a fraction. Now, I see my numerator, but my numerator is sort of all held together by this denominator. So, oh yes, ma'am, about the placing of 0. If the 0 in front, it means the answer would be positive. If the 0 is after the -7, the answer would be -7. Isn't it the opposite way, that 0 minus 7 is -7? But either way, you get -7. Either way, oh, I see. You made a mistake, Uma. 0 minus 7 is still -7. Yeah, so check that, Uma. 0 minus 7 still gives you a -7. So, anyways, as I was saying, we have a fraction here. Remember what I said, when there are fractions, if you get both sides with the same denominator, what you can do is just drop your denominator. So let's try that method over here. I want to get this 11 as a denominator of 3. So in order to do that, I need to multiply this bottom by 3, and because it's a fraction, I'm going to multiply the top by 3. Now remember, I'm not changing the value of this 11. So I don't have to go and multiply the other side by 3. I'm not changing the value of 11. It's still going to be 11, because it's going to be 33 over 3, which still is 11. So I'm not changing the value of it. And then I have 2x plus 3 over 3. Once I have both of my denominators the same, when we're dealing with equations, we can just drop that denominator to give us 2x plus 3 equals to 33. Now, what happens is we take our loose term over. 2x equals 33 minus 3. Going to give me 2x equals 30. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. X is equals to 15. I hope that makes sense. I see Notula is Tando. Tando has given us the answer. I hope that this makes sense. The other way you could have done it is you could have said, to remove division by 3, we're going to multiply this whole thing by 3 and multiply the other whole side by 3. And your division by 3, multiplication by 3 would have cancelled. And you would have still gotten 2x plus 3 equals to 33. So again, many methods, same answer. Whatever makes the most sense to you. And I really do want to do these two before we go because of inverse of exponents. Somebody tell me, what is the inverse of this square over here? How do I remove this little square? There you go. We square root. So in order to make my square root cancel out, or to make my square cancel out, I'm going to square root. Those cancel out. Because I've square rooted the one side, I must square root the other side. My answer is going to give me 4, like William has told us. Okay, so that one was that. Not too difficult. If we look at the next one, we have a loose term. Let's take it over first before we do anything. Cube root x equals to -8. My 7 is going to go across. When it does, sign changes. That is going to give me -8 plus 7 gives us -1. I also was just wondering that, Shady. I was like, I'm like 1 minute over time, but I haven't seen a countdown yet. I appreciate that. So we have this cube root of x is equals to -1. And then opposite of a cube root is what? Yes, William? That was a mistake, I think. Opposite of a cube root, no Tula, no Tando. Tando has told us that it is a cube, so I'm going to cube this whole thing, cube this whole thing. Cube root, cube cancel out. I'm left with x on the side. -1 times -1 times -1. It's 1 times 1 times 1. It is going to give me 1. Positive, no, negative times a negative gives me a positive. Times a negative gives me a negative. And that is the end